Well, students, good evening to all of you. So, guys, today we will discuss your paper 9 of B.Ed second year according to the Kurukshetra University syllabus. Okay, as you know that exams are very near, already date sheet has out. Okay, your exams are starting from 6th of June, theory papers. Okay, so one paper, first paper or eighth paper, knowledge and curriculum. Last week, I have given a lecture. Okay, and I'm giving you the notes. Okay, and I hope you all have prepared because many students message me, sir, they have prepared and they have written. Okay, so today I'm going to discuss your second paper. It is also of the 100 marks. Okay, there are 4 papers in the B.Ed second year. 2 papers are of 100 marks. 2 papers are of 50 marks. This is a 100 marks paper. This is the important papers. Okay, paper 9, assessment for learning. Right. So this is the syllabus. Okay, syllabus I show you through the PPT, right? Okay, before it, okay, I just want to tell you, basically, just for a 30 seconds, right? You already you are familiar, but just for a 30 seconds, I just want to remind you. This is your distribution of the B.Ed second year syllabus, right? One theory, second practical. In this time, in this year, you have to appear for both, for theory and practical. Theory marks of the 300 marks. 4 papers are, okay. First, knowledge and curriculum, 100 marks. Assessment for learning, 100 marks. Third paper, creating an inclusive school, 50 marks. And fourth, health, physical and yoga education, 50 marks. Total are of 300. Practical marks of the 550. So, guys, trust me, you can score well in your B.Ed second year. And trust me, I'm dealing with the B.Ed or M.Ed from last 20 years, and I have seen that in a second year, students score more than 90 to the 90% marks. So when it would be clubbed, it would be merged with your first year marks. So then you can see that, okay, your percentage will go up, right? So I request to all of you, please mute yourself because it is on the recording mode, right? So 300 of theory marks and 550 of the practical marks, right? So these are the name of the papers: knowledge and curriculum, assessment of for learning, creating an inclusive school, health, physical and yoga educations, right? 100, 80, 20, 100, 80, 20, 50, 40, 10, 40, 10, right? I think it is clear to all of you, right? Third is the practical. And practical may you all have, I think that you all have made the files, okay? Last you were telling me, you all have submitted to your concerned colleges, right, for the checking. So these are the 6 files you have to make. One more drawing file you have to make, okay? So if you didn't make, so please, keep in your mind, sometime it is also being checked by the examiner, okay? Drawing file, you can draw within a, 7 or 8 sheets. I'll guide you in any of the lecture, right? But basically, these are the files, right? EPC1, EPC2, EPC3, EPC4, 200 marks. Viva would be there. And rest of your 2 papers, Pedagogy 1 and Pedagogy 2. Okay, you have to give demo. From here, you have to teach to the students. Okay, student would already be in the college, right? Okay, so all the 4 files and presentation. Even presentation, guys, 550 marks of the practical now. And even in the practical, when you break up the 550 marks, okay, so 200 goes to the EPC file, 4 files, and 350 goes to the final lesson plan T1 and T2. T1 matlab teaching 1, teaching of SST, and teaching of English, yeah, science English, yeah, commerce English, whatever the teaching subjects you have, right? And you have to give oral presentation with model, right? So guys, I tell you, your model should be effective. So please mute yourself, guys. Okay, anyone forget it, please mute yourself. So you have to teach to the students with the help of the model, right? Any of the language you can use the English, you can use Hindi, bilingual language. Okay, the main thing is that whatever you will present to the student, it should be familiar to the student. Okay, student should understand. Okay, so they are not concerned with your language. The main thing is a pedagogy. What is the meaning of a pedagogy? Pedagogy means teaching. You should know how to deliver the contents. It does not mean about the language. Okay, are you getting my point? It doesn't mean about the language. Language is a totally different from the pedagogy. You cannot claim that if the person knows the English well, he can teach better. Might be he cannot teach better, right? Because pedagogy includes so many skills. When you deliver the lesson in the class, okay, how you have come in the class, how you introduce your lecture, how you present the material, whether the students are understanding or not. Okay, so these all things, includes in the teaching learning process. These all things includes in the pedagogy process. And in a simple language, I just want to tell you, pedagogy means, matlab, teaching means, matlab, pedagogy, delivering of the content means. What does it mean? It means you should have strong knowledge of philosophy of the student. Okay. Malab, the students are in front of you. You should know the psychology of the student. Okay. You should know different teaching methods, different teaching techniques. Okay. How you are using your teaching aids, right? Whether you are writing on the blackboard or not. So बताओ इसमें language क्या करेगी? Okay. You didn't write on the blackboard and you are speaking in English. You think that your lecture would be effective? Are you getting my point? So pedagogy includes all the things, right? Strong knowledge of a philosophy, strong knowledge of a psychology, teaching learning process, which you have done in your first year. The first year, number one paper is childhood and growing up is your educational psychology paper, right? So these all things, growth and development, adolescence, Piaget theory, how you have to, then second paper of the education, third is the learning and teaching, right? So these all things you have to take care of that, right? In any of the language you can teach to the student. The main purpose is that it should be understood by the student. And if you think that when you have started your lecture, students are not taking interest, right? What you have to do? You have to come at the easy language. Okay. The main thing is that your lecture should be understood by the student. Okay. Once the teacher goes into the class, the first objective of the teacher should be whatever the teacher is going to teach to the student, it should be fully understood by the student, guys. This is the first duty of the teacher. It does not mean you have to finish your syllabus. Okay. The main purpose is that whatever you are delivering, it should be understood by the student. Today, I am taking your lecture, right? Assessment for learning. My aim is not to finish my lecture. Okay. My aim is that it should be understood by you, right? So what happened when I prepared your lecture? When I check your guide, in your guide, there are two topics. One is constructions of a diagnostic test and achievement test. There is a lot of pages are filled by the author. Okay, so you would be confused, right? So what I did that, so I make a very easy notes for you regarding the topic constructions of diagnostic tests या constructions of a achievement test. है ना? It has come in the last year paper. So your purpose should be this thing. Okay, it should be understood by the student. And there is a one phrase: the outcome of the student, the result of the student depends upon teacher. Okay. So you are aware of that. Okay, guys. So every time we discuss, right? So that at least you should know that along with your theory paper, you have to prepare your practical paper. Okay. So now I will advise to all of you, give more and more time to your theory part. Okay. There are 4 papers. One paper we have already covered. Hana? Knowledge and curriculum. Right, guys? Okay, I have given you the notes also. Give more focus on the last year paper. Okay, so I have sold all the last year paper. Right. So my first advice, my first strategy, my first guess about this paper. Prepare your last year paper first. Okay. You know that in each sections out of it 2 you have to attempt 1. But when you are preparing your last year paper, तो ऐसा नहीं करना कि 2 में से 1 करना. Okay, so you have prepared all both questions. Means all the 9 questions. 8 questions are in the section A, B, C, D. Right? 2 questions, so you have to prepare the 2 questions. Okay. वो तो exams में है ना. When you will go into the exam, in the exam you would be waiver of 1 question. You will get choice of 1 question. But now you are preparing. So how you can skip 1 question? So my advice is that knowledge and curriculum, finish your last year paper number first. and write at least one question, okay, and see the time. It should be finished within the half an hour and 7 pages should be filled. So then guys, it is okay, you will get a very good marks. Okay, now paper 9, assessment for learning. Okay, so now I'm starting my lecture, the paper 9, assessment for learning, second paper, paper 9 of B.Ed second year, according to the Kurukshetra University. Okay, unit 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so we see the syllabus first. Okay, so my purpose, my style is that, okay, first see the syllabus. Okay, so this is a good thing. Whatever you are going to start, you have to see the syllabus first. Guys, syllabus is the roadmap. Without learning the syllabus, trust me, you cannot cover up your paper. So my advice to all of you, learn the syllabus. In fact, it should be on your fingertip. यूनिट 1 में क्या है, यूनिट 2 में क्या है, यूनिट 3 में क्या है, यूनिट 4 में क्या है, right? You should know it. And you will see that when you know the syllabus, okay, half of the battle you have already won, half of the work you have already done. So you will come to know that basically you don't learn the syllabus and you start learning your questions, right? First see the syllabus. So in a unit 1, the topic is introductions to assessment and evaluation, right? Under this आ गया assessment है, evaluations है, their relationship है, then purpose of objective of assessment for placement, providing feedbacks, grading, promotion, certification, diagnostic of a learning difficulties, and third topic is critical review of current evaluation practices. This is the important, right? क्या क्या है? Formative and summative evaluation, आप भी पढ़ो मेरे साथ, ओके? लेकिन मतलब यू डोंट हैव टू स्पीक, अपने मन में, राइट? प्रोग्नोस्टिक एंड डायग्नोस्टिक, नॉर्म रेफरेंस टेस्ट एंड क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट, क्वांटिटेटिव एंड क्वालिटेटिव, राइट? ये असेसमेंट भी है, ये टेस्ट भी है, असेसमेंट भी है, इवैल्यूएशंस भी हैं, ओके? आर यू अवेयर ऑफ दैट? टेल मी ऑनेस्टली, if you do not aware of that, so please tell me how you can teach truly to the student. How can you teach effectively to the student if you are not aware of the norm reference test and criterion reference test? If you're not aware of the assessment and evaluation, right? If you are not aware of the formative assessment or summative assessment, formative भी होती है, summative भी होती है, ऐसे ही evaluation भी formative भी और summative भी है, right? Lecture बड़ा interesting होने के लिए जा रहा है, okay? तो please give attention to this lecture, right guys? And you should have a copy and pen. In fact, you can write it. Unit 2, assessment for learning. देखो word assessment फिर आ गया. Again the word of assessment has come. Assessment of learning. ठीक है, topic क्या है? What is the topic? Concept of cognitive, affective, psychomotor domain of learning. Revised taxonomy of objectives 2001. Okay, we'll do that. Always this question come. Okay, so if you note that, sir, please tell me the important one in a unit 1. The first topic is important, concept of a assessment and evaluation and their interrelationship. And fourth one is important, critical review of a current evaluation practices for long. I'm talking about for long. Okay, unit 2 में this is the most important question. Taxonomy of revised taxonomy. What is the meaning of a taxonomy? Taxonomy means classification. Okay, हिंदी में बोलते हैं इसको वर्गीकरण, classification, taxonomy. तो ये classification है, it was given by the Dr. Benjamin Bloom. Okay, Dr. Benjamin Bloom in the year of 1956. Okay, but the most important thing that here, guys, you have to note that it is written. You have to talk, even you have to write the revised taxonomy. So after when the Dr. Benjamin Bloom given this taxonomy based on the educational objective and instructional objective, I will explain in detail, don't worry. Okay. And after some time, okay, some of their disciples, some of the students, okay, they changed little bit of that taxonomy in the year of 2001. So in this question, you always have to talk about the revised taxonomy given by the Dr. Benjamin Bloom. Okay. And you should be aware of the taxonomy given by the Dr. Benjamin Bloom in the year of 1956. Only that revised taxonomy concept would be clear to you. Don't worry, it would be cleared, right? Next is constructing table of a specification and writing different forms of equation, VSA, SA, ET and objective type situation based. ये क्या चीज है बताओ? SA की full form क्या है? ET की full form क्या है? तो that's why ना I tell you, learn the syllabus, right? ये सारे टेस्ट हैं. ऐसे शॉर्ट आंसर टाइप टेस्ट, ईटी ऐसे टाइप टेस्ट, ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप टेस्ट. ठीक है, फिर देखो ये नीचे आ गया कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ ए अचीवमेंट टेस्ट, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. ऑलवेज 20 साल से मैं देख रहा हूं, ऑलवेज क्वेश्चन इज कमिंग, राइट? कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ ए अचीवमेंट टेस्ट, कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ ए डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट, ये दोनों ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट? तो ये दोनों आप करते हो, ऊपर से टेक्सोनॉमी करते हो, यूनिट 2 वुड बी डन, राइट? यूनिट 3 आ जाओ, देखो यूनिट 3. Again, assessment word has come. Assessment process and tools. Need for CCE. CCE क्या चीज होती है? Continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Its importance and problem faced by the teachers. अब ये देखो आपने, have you noticed one thing? Have you noticed one thing? Please mute yourself, guys. Please mute. Again and again, I'm requesting. Okay, you forget actually, right? Then, there is a disturbance in the lecture when you don't mute yourself. So, see the need for CCE, comprehensive, continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Okay. So, we have already done in the first year also, right? It is a very easy one, right? CCE, continuous and comprehensive evaluations. Okay. Then आगे देखिए मीनिंग एंड कंस्ट्रक्शन. ओके, आई वाज टेलिंग यू, हैव यू नोटिस वन थिंग? इट इज गिवन बाय फेस्ड बाय द टीचर. ओके, अब ये देखो, ये सीसी इट इज फॉर द टीचर्स. अब मैं वापस गया हूं, आई हैव कम बैक टू द स्लाइड. यूनिट 2 कॉग्निटिव डेवलपमेंट, ये रिवाइज टेक्सोनॉमी. तो यू नो दिस इज आल्सो फॉर द टीचर्स. इवैल्यूएशन इज फॉर द टीचर्स, असेसमेंट फॉर द टीचर्स. ओके, basically you should be aware of these terms and you should be master of these terms, and trust me, only then you can teach effectively to the student. That's why now I have told you many times कि B.Ed जो है, B.Ed is a teaching methodology course, right? Without B.Ed, guys, trust me, you cannot teach to the student. In fact, you can cheat the students, okay, without B.Ed. Okay, if you have done the B.Ed under a, you have covered all the syllabus, all the topics, okay, only then you can teach. That's why it is said that teaching is not everybody's cup of tea. Okay, so this is a very much important questions, very, very much important paper, in fact. Okay, again assessment की बात आ रही है. Okay, ये portfolio assessment आ गया. आप unit 4 देखिए, see the unit 4. Construction, interpretations and reporting of students' performance. So have you reported the students' performance? Do you know about how to report the students' performance? How you have to take the assessment, how you have to take the evaluation, what are the types of assessment, what is a formative assessment, what is a summative assessment, how you have to develop the achievement test, what are the step of the achievement test, what are the step of the diagnostic test, have you done the diagnostic on any of the student, right? Unit 4, the first topic is A part is descriptive statistics, right? Under the descriptive statistics, measure of central tendency, measure of variability and percentages. It is a very easy, guys. Fourth जो है, you are thinking that it is a little bit difficult, but trust me, it is a very easy topic. Okay, the main thing is that it should be understood to you, right, clearly, when if there is any teacher who can understand the concept. The problem is in the teacher, not in the student. Getting my point? Okay, right? So descriptive statistics में measure of central tendency, measure of variability and percentages. Graphical representations में you should be aware of the bar diagram, histogram, frequency curve, एंड एनपीसी इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, ऑलवेज कम। एनपीसी की फुल फॉर्म क्या है? एनपीसी प्रोबेबिलिटी, ये कर्व होती है नॉर्मल प्रोबेबिलिटी कर्व। ओके, एनपीसी वी विल डू इट। नेक्स्ट है ग्रेडिंग मीनिंग टाइप्स एंड इट्स यूजेस एंड रोल ऑफ फीडबैक टू स्टेक होल्डर्स। और लास्ट में है रिपोर्टिंग स्टूडेंट्स परफॉर्मेंस। ऑलवेज क्वेश्चन आता है इसका, रिपोर्टिंग स्टूडेंट्स परफॉर्मेंस। यू शुड बी अवे प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट, एवरीबॉडी नो दैट, है ना। कम्युलेटिव रिकॉर्ड गाइस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये कम्युलेटिव रिकॉर्ड। ओके, प्रोफाइल वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट। ओके, अच्छे स्कूल्स होते हैं ना, जो अच्छे स्कूल्स हैं लाइक कॉन्वेंट स्कूल्स हैं, ओके, दे मेड ए प्रोफाइल, they made a cumulative record, okay, of the student, right? Because it contains all the activities of the student from first class to last class. We will discuss in the paper. Okay, so this is all about the syllabus. Ab you have you noticed one thing in the syllabus? Basically two things are using, and even one word has come in each of this section. Assessment, huh? And trust me, if you know about the assessment, you have complete mastery over the assessment, and trust me, the paper would be very much easy for you. Okay, so we start from the assessment. Okay, so I come directly on the notes. Okay, and so this is the notes. Okay, syllabus we have done the syllabus. ये देखो on a very first page, this is the first page of my notes, okay, which I have already shared with you. Study material B.Ed second year, B.Ed notes assessment for learning. Total around 125 or 130 pages I have shared with you. It is covering your full syllabus, okay, and last year paper also, right? And the second page I have, for your easiness, I have written the syllabus. This is the syllabus. Okay, we have discussed the syllabus. Okay, and on the third page, I have given the last year paper. This is the last year paper. Okay, assessment for learning. See that, right? Compulsory question may what the question has come, criterion reference test. This is the most important. So guys, when you will do the criterion reference test na, तो you know in the syllabus criterion के साथ norm reference test भी है, right? So when you are doing the criterion reference test, तो cover it the norm reference test also. Okay, it is a very much easy. 4 uses of a sociometric technique, concept of portfolio, concept of the what is the concept of the diagnosis test. Unit 1, differentiate between assessment and evaluation. What are the uses of assessment? Describe. ये देखो फर्स्ट में भी यही पूछ रहा है ना, सेकंड में ये देखो आई एम गोइंग टू जूम आउट नाउ। आई थिंक इट इज रीडेबल टू ऑल ऑफ यू, हाँ, राइट? ये कंपल्सरी क्वेश्चंस है, राइट? लिटिल बिट आई कैन डू। ओके, क्राइटेरियन पूरा पेपर हम हल करेंगे आराम से, 1-1.25 घंटा क्लास चलेगी अभी, नेक्स्ट 1 आवर। ओके, डोंट वेरी, पेन और कॉपी साथ में आप ले लो, तो वी विल कवर ओवर ऑल द पेपर्स, राइट, इजिली, क्योंकि ये वन गो ही है गाइस। ओके, तो इफ बिकॉज सारे टॉपिक्स इंटर रिलेटेड है, राइट? सो कंपल्सरी क्वेश्चन में, सो प्लीज म्यूट योर सेल्फ ऑल ऑफ यू। ओके, आई एम अगेन रिक्वेस्टिंग, यूनिट 1 में सी दैट डिफरेंस बिटवीन असेसमेंट एंड इवेल्युएशन। ये देखो, ये पेपर का नाम ही असेसमेंट है। ओके, द नेम ऑफ द पेपर इज असेसमेंट. And if you know about the assessment, types of assessment, evaluation, interrelationship, okay, it means 2 questions you have covered. Means 20 marks you have covered out of the 80 marks. Because theory comes off 80 marks. Okay, और देखो 80 marks है, right? Third देखिए, briefly describe the current evaluation practices. Current evaluation practices. So actually anyone is unmuted. So can you mute? ये sister Banita दे वही ना. Please guys check yourself. Okay, are you muted? Okay, because there is disturbance in the lecture. Third question देखिए. See the third question. Briefly describe the current evaluation practices followed in school. ये बड़ा ही easy question है. If you know about the evaluation ना, it is a very much easy. Guys, without looking the book, you can fill the 7 pages. You can get a very good marks. So it is talking about nothing. It is talking about current evaluation practices followed in school. Means for the evaluation of the student, matlab you want to check the student, how much the student have learned. Okay. Uske liye, what are the evaluation techniques you use in the school? वो है current evaluation practices, nothing else. यूनिट 2 में देखिए रिवाइज टेक्सोनॉमी आ गया ना क्वेश्चंस. रिवाइज टेक्सोनॉमी ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शनल ऑब्जेक्टिव 2001. व्हाट आर द डोमेन्स ऑफ लर्निंग? कैन यू नो व्हाट आर द 3 डोमेन्स ऑफ लर्निंग? कॉग्निटिव, अफेक्टिव, कॉग्निटिव अफेक्टिव और साइकोमोटर डोमेन. ओके, कॉग्निटिव या साइकोमोटर एक ही बात है, राइट? साइकोमोटर, कॉग्निटिव, affective and psychomotor. Okay, so I'll discuss in this na Bloom taxonomy. Okay, अभी तो we are discussing the paper. फिफ्थ में देखो, ये देखो अगेन आ गया क्वेश्चन, फुल मार्क्स का आ गया. व्हाट इज द प्रोसीजर ऑफ द डेवलपिंग एन अचीवमेंट टेस्ट? डिस्कस द यूजेस ऑफ अचीवमेंट टेस्ट. अब सी इन द गाइड, वो इतने स्टेप्स दिए हुए हैं, पता नहीं क्या है ना, मतलब यू वुड बी कंफ्यूज्ड. So I have made notes for you. Okay, learn those steps. It is a very easy one. Okay, along with this, I suggest you, do the question diagnostic test because it is in the, same in the unit 3rd. देखो मुझे याद आई, remember. If you don't know the syllabus, ना syllabus should be learned first. Okay, I request to all of you. Okay, ऐसे ही पढ़ाया करो next week. Okay, when you will become a teacher, okay, just see the syllabus. Right, what you have to teach to the student from that way. Unit 3 देखिए, under the unit 3 question has come, concept and importance of continuous and comprehensive evaluation, CCE. What are the next criteria for assessment of a social skills of a students in collaborative and cooperative learning situations? ये भी easy है. Unit 4 में देखो, what are the descriptive statistics? आ गया ना 4th में, what are the descriptive statistics? And what we have learned in the syllabus, under the descriptive statistics, there is a measure of central tendency, measure of dispersion. Dispersions बोलो या variability बोलो, both are same thing, and percentile. Right? And ये देखो always questions आता है. What are the tools of a reporting student's performance? Briefly explain along with their usage. Okay. So guys, I'm going to start with, you have seen that in the paper assessment word is using, evaluation word is using. So we start with the assessment, right? So first, please mute yourself, guys. Many times I have told you, please mute yourself. Check your button. Are you muted or not? Okay, please check it. ये देखो assessment for learning. Okay, so basically, the last year paper we will discuss along with the important questions also. Okay, the first question I'm going to start from the differentiate between assessment and evaluation. What are the uses of assessment? So whatever we will discuss, we will put as a red. So we are discussing the question, the very first question. Which one? Difference between assessment and evaluation. What are the uses of assessment? So basically, you should know about the assessment, right? So, okay, along with I have prepared one PPT also, right? So PPT with side by side, I'm going to open it. Okay. And along with your notes also, right? Yes, second question is, on, okay, you already have the notes, right? So even with your notes, I have important points I have discussed. यहाँ से start हो रहा है आपका. Okay, ये रहा question आपका, right? ये देखिए unit 1. Okay, differentiate between assessment and evaluation. What are the uses of assessment? Guys, trust me. Okay, give me 1 hour completely attentively. Okay, and my promise with you, this paper would be covered to you. Okay, when you give 1 hour, right? Because later on when you will see the notes na, so it would be covered to you, right? ये देखो, differentiate between assessment and evaluation. What are the uses of assessment? तो इसमें guys हमें we should know about the assessment. Assessment होती क्या चीज है? What is assessment? And trust me, assessment is the most important thing in the teaching learning process. Yes, assessment is the most important thing in the teaching learning process. Yes, we forget the assessment. Okay, so this is the most important. अब क्या चीज है assessment? What is the assessment? देखो पढ़ो. Assessment refers to the process of gathering and synthesizing information from multiple sources, some or all of which may be tested for the purpose of discovery and for the purpose of discovering and documenting student strength and weakness, planning and enhancing instruction. And trust me, give me honest answer. How many students you do that? Do you do that assessment? Do you check that after giving the lesson to the student? Do you check that what is the strength and weakness of the student? What are the planning and enhancing the instruction? Are if you are not assessing the student, if you are not assessing the student, your teaching is not effective. Okay, this is the first and major part. Whatever you are, why this is important? Because you have to go for your practical. तो practical के अंदर you don't only have to deliver the lesson, you have to wind up your lesson also at the very end. At the last you can ask the student, you can say to the students, well students, today I have discussed this topic. Now I want to ask some of the questions from you, whether to understand, have you done it, have you completely understood or not? Okay, so this is called the recapitulation, wind up of your topic. Guys, in your 35 minutes of the lecture, you should have the 5 minutes for the recapitulation. You are continuing teaching to the student, putting into the mind of the student. This is not your job. Your job is that whatever you are teaching to the student, it should be understood completely by the student. This is your job. And for retaining into the mind of the student, you have to assess the knowledge of the student by using the various techniques. It can be the test, it can be the oral test, you can ask the questions. There are so many methods, okay, by which you can assess the personality of the student, assess the knowledge of the student, assess the skill of the student. This is called assessment. This is the most important. Okay, previously actually we use the evaluation, right? So this is the assessment. अब ये देखो यहाँ पे assessment is the process of, it is the process of documenting होता है recording. It is the process of documenting knowledge, skill, attitude and belief, usually in the measurable terms. And please tell me honestly, how many from all of you and see the other teachers, whether they document the knowledge, skill, attitude, belief of the student or not. So that's why it is called teaching is not everybody's cup of tea. It is not a just looking from the book and putting into the mind of the student. This is not a teaching. Right? You have to see up to the last. You have to work up to the last. Okay, whether he has got whatever, particular that marks, which is, already, which is the criteria, whether the student has met or not. Right? So for achieving that success, okay, you have to do all the things. Right? That's why now many times I have told you the outcome of the student, the result of the student totally depends upon the teacher. Guys, student is never ever weak in this planet. Okay. So you have to work, beyond the line. Yes, beyond the line you have to work. Right? You have to, assessment means documenting the knowledge. Matlab, if you are in a simple term, if you are teaching to the 30 students in the class, you should be aware of the 30 students, what type of a knowledge they have, what is the pattern of the knowledge, how they understand the things, what are the skills of the 30 students, what are the attitude of the 30 students, right? And what you do that, even you have seen many teachers, okay, they start, झगड़ा करना स्टार्ट कर देते हैं बच्चों के साथ. ओके, so guys, you have to teach to the student according to the attitude of the student, not your attitude. Are you getting my point? So yes, attitude and belief also. What is the belief system of that person? Okay. Okay, means you have a faith in in particular God, particular things. Okay, but he doesn't. In spite of that, you have to teach to the student. This is called the teaching. Getting? So assessment is the process of documenting knowledge, skill, attitude, belief, usually in the measurable terms. अब देखो next line कितनी important है और उसको मैंने I have little bit bolded, right? The goal of assessment is to make improvement as opposed to simply being judged. Most important line है, underline कर लो इसको. Do underline. The goal of assessment is to improvement. Guys, you are teaching to the student. Your purpose should be improvement of the student. Your purpose is not the finish of the class. Your purpose is not the finish the syllabus. Your purpose is not the, teach to the student, by dictatorship dominating the class. Your purpose is to improvement of the student. Okay. As opposed to simply being judged. ये judged क्या चीज होती है? Judged जो होता है, we judge the students. We pass the judgmental. We pass the, our judgment. Right? So how it happens? Basically, we are teaching to the student with old method. After a 1 year, after a 6 month, after a 3 month, after a 4 month, we conduct a one test. And in the test, whatever the marks has taken by the student, and we simply pass the judgment. We simply pass the label. This is the first, this is the second, this is the third, right? It is, we do not do the assessments. Okay. So the goal of assessment to make improvement as opposed to simply being judged. Okay. When we take the exam at the end, okay, after 4 months, after 6 months, after 1 year, and whatever the marks taken by the student, we simply pass the judgment, but we are unaware of that. Might be in a one day, he has mugged all the things and putting in paper. That's why he has got the marks, right? There's a lot of things. Might be, it can be vice versa, right? In educational context, next dekhiye line. In an educational context, assessment is the process of describing, predicting, recording, scoring, and interpreting information about learning. ये steps होते हैं, right? If we have to describe, collect you have the record of every student. This is called the teaching. Teaching means to know the subject first. I repeat, teaching means to know the subject first. Subject first means आपका subject नहीं, student. If I'm talking about the subject first, it means student first, child first. You should know the child first. This is the teaching, right? So guys, this is the assessment. I think you are aware of the assessment. Now, in a simple way, I talk about the assessment. Assessment means frequently you have to, making improvement of the student. Okay. Once you have given the lecture, after the lecture, in the last, you should have a 5 minute to assess the student. After 3-4 days, after a week, you can conduct a test to assess the student. These are the tools. I'm talking about the test, exam, oral test. I'm talking about the quiz. I'm talking about the debate. ये क्या बन गए? These are the tools of the assessment. Okay. With the help of a quiz, you can ask from the student. With the help of a debate, okay, you can bifurcate the class. Okay, one they will talk about in the favor, one they will talk about in the pose, huh? So then they are discussing. So these are all the method, these are all the techniques you are using. These are the tools of assessment. Okay, this is the teaching basically, right, guys? So ये assessment हो गया सारा. ये देखो एक दो definitions देख लो इसकी. एलन क्या बोलते हैं? According to the Allen, assessment involves the use of experimental data on students' learning to refine programs and improve student learning. According to the Bob Adamson, process of a collection information or evidence of a learner's learning progress and achievement over a period of time. ये देखो, this is the most important. आपने you have to keep in your mind, assessment means होता है over a period of time. Okay, मतलब after some days, it is related with assessment. Okay, when we talk about evaluation, it means we conducted test, final exam, after a 6 month, after a 4 month, after a year. That is related with evaluation. Now you have understood difference between assessment and evaluation. Evaluation is done at the end. Assessment hota hai frequently you are taking, okay, over a period of time, right? Ab hum we see in PPT also, right? Okay, ये PPT में देखिए. Assessment is a tool that measure assesses how well the student achieve the learning outcome. Okay, assessment is not just a test at the end of a unit. ये देखो ना, it is not a just at the end of the unit. It is a found in all the three learning component: content, process, and product. Assessment is defined systematic way of acquiring, reviewing, using information about someone or something as to make improvement wherever necessary. Right? So guys, assessment concept clear कर लो दिमाग में. Right? So two questions I have already prepared because I have seen in the paper. If you know about the assessment, what are the types of assessment? Okay, the difference between assessment and evaluation. Okay, so आपके दो questions already has prepared. Okay, तो ये आपको मेरे ख्याल समझ आ गया सारा, है ना? असेसमेंट का ये हमने we have covered in the notes. Okay, and टाइप्स कर लो बस इसकी, राइट? ये इंपॉर्टेंट है. दो टाइप्स की असेसमेंट होती हैं, राइट? वन इज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. समटाइम इट कम्स इन दी लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन. अभी क्वेश्चन था ना, लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन में क्या था? व्हाट आर दी regarding the assessment था ना, हाँ, इंटर रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन असेसमेंट एंड इवैल्यूएशन. व्हाट आर द यूजेस ऑफ असेसमेंट? लास्ट में माइट बी क्वेश्चंस कैन कम इन दिस टाइम, टाइप्स ऑफ असेसमेंट. So then you have to define these two, right? In the notes, you can see that, it is written theoretically, okay, in 2-3 pages. But here, just to understand you, I have, written important points. There are two types of assessment. Okay. One is formative assessment. One is summative assessment. So whatever the definitions which I have discussed with you of assessment, please listen me carefully. Whatever the definition, whatever the example I have used with you regarding the assessment, wo sara ka sara, everything you can write under the formative assessment. This is called the formative assessment, right? And what is a summative? Summative assessment, ye dekho first padhte hain. If types of assessment mein, one is formative, one is summative. Formative assessment provides feedback and information during the instructional process. Instructional process means when you are teaching to the student. Okay, you are providing feedback to the student. But here you have to note it does not happen in the evaluation. Evaluation में feedback नहीं होती. Okay, evaluation में क्या होता है? What happens in the evaluation? Educator, teacher simply take a test and pass the judgment and pass the grade and gives the grade, gives the marks. Okay, so formative assessment में always feedback होती है. Formative assessment provides feedback and information during the instructional process. Summative आ जाओ. Summative assessment takes place after the learning has been completed and provides information and feedback that sums up the teaching and learning process. ठीक है? Means assessment में भी further it is divided into the formative and summative. Formative मतलब on the spot, starting में, right? Formative मतलब formative years. Okay, I more simplify the word. Okay, that's why now we say that in the formative years, we have to give good habits to our children. We have to give good habits to our students so that these habits would go along the up to all life, right? In formative years. So work on your child, work on your students at the very formative years. Okay, when you start at the adult, when they have become adult, then you started. So guys, you know what happens, basically they have made the some sense, some mind. So it is very impossible to convert the concept of that person. Sometime when we are discussing with any of the person and he is not understanding, so basically he has developed his point of view. Okay, so that's why now we have to give each and every answer to our student, to our child. Why? WHY. WHY. Okay, you have seen that now. Many times students ask the question because at a very formative year, they have a lot of curiosity. So you have to give answer each and every answer, right? Formative assessment measures student progress, but it can also assess your own progress as an instructor, right? तो ये आप इसको पढ़ लेना टाइप्स ऑफ असेसमेंट को, ठीक है? डन. उसके बाद we talk about the evaluation. Okay, so basically we come at our uh, notes also. ये देखो मीनिंग ऑफ इवेल्युएशंस, ठीक है? ये वही क्वेश्चन चल रहा है, ये आप देख लो साथ साइड बाय साइड. This is the paper, right? Okay, assessment for learning. So we are discussing the first. ये फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन ये अभी हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. देखो आधा घंटा हमने इसी पे लगा दिया, राइट? इसी को बोलते हैं टीचिंग. टीचिंग का मतलब नहीं है फिनिश कराना है सिलेबस. टीचिंग का मतलब है आपको अंडरस्टैंड होना चाहिए, राइट? ये देखिए, राइट, ये फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन अभी डिस्कस हो रहा है. डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन असेसमेंट एंड इवैल्यूएशन, व्हाट आर द यूजेस ऑफ असेसमेंट, राइट? इसको हमने कर दिया. और असेसमेंट वी हैव डिस्कस्ड, है ना? ये देखो असेसमेंट. डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन असेसमेंट एंड इवैल्यूएशन, व्हाट आर द यूजेस ऑफ असेसमेंट. असेसमेंट हो गया. अब इवैल्यूएशन, वी टॉक अबाउट इवैल्यूएशन. तो ये कह रहा है इवैल्यूएशन इज ड्राइव फ्रॉम द वर्ड दिस विच वैल्यू विच रेफर्स टू यूजफुल ऑफ समथिंग पुटिंग. हाँ, यहां से करते हैं स्टार्ट हम. ये देखो, इवैल्यूएशन इज ए सिस्टमैटिक एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव प्रोसेस ऑफ मेजरिंग और ऑब्जर्विंग समवन और समथिंग विद एन एम ऑफ ड्राइंग कंक्लूजन. डिफरेंट होगी ना डेफिनेशंस. ड्राइंग कंक्लूजन, right, using criteria usually governed by set standards or by making a comparison. Okay, evaluation is also a systematic process of determining to what extent instructional objective have been achieved, right? और ये लास्ट में देख लो, grading and reporting, right? Means basically in a evaluation we grade to the student, we give reporting to the students, okay, and we pass the judgment. But in the assessment, over a period of a time, we do improvements in the students, right? ये characteristics of evaluations है, ठीक है? आपने ये भी पढ़ लेनी है, because my purpose is to concept should be clear to you. Once the concept is cleared, okay, so then it would be easy for you, learn all the things. अब अगर difference between assessment and evaluation, ठीक है? तो difference हमने इसमें से कर लेते हैं, पीपीटी में से, right? Because यहाँ से जल्दी हो जाएगा हमारा, राइट? रिलेशनशिप भी कर लो या इसको डिफरेंस भी कर लीजिए. ओके, ये देखिए, राइट. असेसमेंट इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ नंबर 1 collecting, reviewing and using data for the purpose of improvement. Evaluation is described as an act of passing judgment. Assessment is a diagnostic. Difference भी हो गया ना, right? Assessment is a diagnostic. Notes में लिखा हुआ है, you can learn in the notes, you can learn from the notes. Here just to understand that what is the difference and relationship. Second देखिए point, assessment is a diagnostic. You diagnose the student, what are the problem of the student, and you provide the feedback, but it does not happen in the evaluation. In the evaluation, you simply take a test and pass the judgment. Number 3, provides feedback on performance, right? Process oriented है. और 7th देखो last, set by the both parties. ओके, और इवैल्यूएशंस में क्या होता है, इट इज सेट बाय द इवैल्यूएटर, ठीक है? दिस इज द इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, राइट गाइस? ओके, सो ये हमारा फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन हो गया गाइस. ओके, ये देखो, ये सारे पॉइंट्स हैं, ये दिए हुए हैं. ये देखो, डिफरेंस बिटवीन असेसमेंट एंड इवैल्यूएशन, राइट? ये देखो, करंट परफॉर्मेंस इज कॉल्ड असेसमेंट. इसी से पीपीटी बनाई हुई है. राइट। ये देखो डायग्नोस्टिक असेसमेंट डायग्नोस्टिक इन नेचर होती है, ये देखो यही वाले पॉइंट पीपीटी में डाले हुए हैं, राइट, सारे के सारे। तो डिफरेंस आपको क्लियर हो गया। और लास्ट में क्वेश्चन था यूजेस ऑफ असेसमेंट। ओके, सी द पेपर। ये देखो, व्हाट आर द डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन असेसमेंट एंड इवेल्युएशन, व्हाट आर द यूजेस ऑफ असेसमेंट। ओके, तो इन योर नोट्स ये यूजेस ऑफ असेसमेंट भी आ गया। ओके, तो वन क्वेश्चन वी आर डन along with assessment and evaluations. Okay, now we are discussing these four questions. Okay, concept of a criterion reference test, sociometric technique, portfolio, and concept of a diagnostic test. Okay, in चारों को I am going to be read, right? So from the notes, okay, so that I have shared the notes with you, right? So it would be easy for you. Okay, first you see the lecture, and after that you see the notes, and in a one day you will cover your paper 9, right guys? So यहां से स्टार्ट करते हैं हम। क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट, ये देखो आ गया ना फर्स्ट। तो नाउ वी आर डिस्कसिंग द 4 शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस। ओके, क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट, और उसके बाद था क्या था नेक्स्ट हमारा, एक सोशियोमेट्रिक टेक्निक, सेकंड था सोशियोमेट्रिक टेक्निक, थर्ड था पोर्टफोलियो, एंड फोर्थ था डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट। ओके, चारों क्वेश्चंस। तो कंसेप्ट ऑफ ए क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू शुड नो दैट इट इज फ्रॉम द यूनिट 1, राइट। ये है इवेल्युएशंस, राइट, हाउ यू इवेल्युएट द स्टूडेंट, क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट और नॉर्म रेफरेंस टेस्ट। ओके, तो इसको समझ लो, क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट, नॉर्म अपने आप आपको समझ आ जाएगा। What is a criterion reference test in the realm of educational assessment? The term criterion reference test holds significant importance. It refers to a special type of test designed to evaluate an individual's performance based on the predetermined criteria or standard, as opposed to compare it to the performance of others. So already one criteria is already built. Okay, so according to that criteria, you have to evaluate the performance of the student. Criterion reference tests are utilized in a wide range of educational and professional settings to measure person's mastery of specific skill or knowledge in particular subject or domain. ये देखिए guys, okay, ये teaching का एक tool है. This is a tool of teaching. Okay, you don't use basically, right? Mostly teacher doesn't use because they don't know about it. They don't know about the criterion reference test. They don't know about the norm reference test, right? ये tools हैं आपके हाथ में, ये सारा का सारा, this is a part of the curriculum. और curriculum में देखो, in the first paper Cunningham ने क्या बोला था, what the Cunningham has said, ठीक है ना? Curriculum is a tool in the hand of the teacher to mold his material, मतलब student, in according to his ideals in his studio. Studio means school, right? तो ये सारे के सारे tools हैं. Okay, it is in your hand. And then how you can claim that his student is naughty, student is weak, student is not getting the marks. So basically, you are not aware of these all the tools. Okay, that's why you are giving the excuses in the parents teacher meeting, in front of your friends, your peers, your principal, कि student is not getting. The main thing is that you are not aware of these all the tools. Got it? So criterion reference test होता है just to measure the person's mastery, means student, of specific skill or knowledge in a particular subject or domain, right? And an example, for example, when you take a temperature, the accepted healthy standard is 98.6 degree Fahrenheit, right? 98.6 है अगर temperature आपकी body का, तो then you are okay. If the temperature is a higher, it means you are not meeting the standard and you have a fever, है ना? You are health and are likely ill, right? तो वो criteria है, particular criteria. For example, you are teaching to the, I simplify the process. For example, you are teaching to the student in the class of a 10th or 12th. Okay, after the 12th, they have to appear for the IIT JEE. Okay, criteria is particular over there. For example, in a B.Ed, B.Ed mein there is an entrance exam. Okay, the particular marks you have to score to clear your B.Ed. Then you will get the admission. Okay, then it is the duty of the teacher to work on the student so that that particular criteria should be met by the student. Right? Criterion reference evaluation. ये देखो इसको evaluation भी बोलते हैं. Criterion reference evaluation, criterion reference assessment, criterion reference test. ये सारी चीजें एक ही हैं. Okay, with a little bit of difference. Criterion reference evaluation are used in school to examine specific knowledge and abilities that students have most likely gained. Criterion reference test assessment. ये लास्ट देख लीजिए. Criterion reference assessment are widely used in the education industry in primary and secondary education. और ये important points I have highlighted. Criterion reference test are administered to understand whether a student has specific competencies or skills. Right? अगर नहीं है तो, if they don't have, then you have to work on it. Okay, but at least you should have some temperature, na? Right? Are you getting my point? You should have some tool to know that. You are teaching to the 30 students in your class. You should know that. Okay, every student, whether they are meeting the criteria or not, whether they have the, okay, how much they have the knowledge, skill, attitude. Okay, so only then you will work on your student, or you are just putting your lecture and putting into the mind of the student. Student mind is not a dustbin. Okay, don't take it granted. Right? Because whatever you are delivering to the student, it impacts. Okay, right? So ये आप देख लेना, ठीक है. इसको क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट के ये हैं कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स: ऑब्जेक्टिव, क्लियर क्राइटेरिया, फोकस्ड ऑन मास्टरी, कस्टमाइजेशन. Okay, customization means according to the level of the student, you can just customize it. Right? ये टाइप्स ऑफ ए क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट. ये देखो, क्वेश्चनियर एंड सर्वेज, मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस, ट्रू और फॉल्स क्वेश्चंस, ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चंस. हैव यू मेड इट? Guys, whatever the topic you are teaching now, you should make it all the things that. Okay, it does not mean that. देखो, with the help of an example, now I am clearing the concept in front of you. For example, any of the topic you are teaching to the student, okay, and you have come in the class, you are discussing in front of the student, है ना, delivering a lesson. अरे उसका मतलब तो ये हुआ कि वो टॉपिक है ना, the topic has prepared by you. Okay, if you are teaching to the student, the main thing is that how the topic would be understood by the student. This is the most important. Now what you have to do, whatever the topic you have prepared to deliver in the class, make their questions, make their multiple choice questions. Okay, making the test, so that when you will deliver your topic at the end, you can ask from the student, and whatever the questions, whatever the answers you are getting, it will determine whether they have understood or not. The job of the teacher is to understand the topic completely to the student. This is the job of the teacher. Okay, if the student, listen me carefully, if the student does not grasp whatever the topic you are delivered, then your teaching is zero. It is a big zero. Right? If the student does not grasp it fully, student should grasp it fully. Okay, तो ये देखो, इस टाइप से आपको ना क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट, ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चंस बनाओ, एडवांटेजेस डिसएडवांटेजेस आगे उसके. राइट? ये देखो, अब लास्ट में पढ़ लो कंक्लूजन में. ओके, व्हाट द कंक्लूजन ऑफ क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट. Hence, in conclusion, we can say that a criterion reference test is an assessment tool used to determine whether an individual has achieved specific performance criteria or standard in a particular subject or skill. It focuses on mastery rather than comparing one performance to that of other. क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट होता है सिर्फ जस्ट टू फोकस ऑन द मास्टरी ओवर द स्टूडेंट, मेक द, देखो ना, sometimes you have seen that you have made a one test for the whole class. How it is possible? In your class, if there are 30 students, naturally guys, some would be average, some are more intelligent, some are below average. How you can say that you have prepared a one test to check the knowledge of the student? You have to make the different tests slowly and gradually. You have to, bring, you have to, उसका जो level है, you have to increase the level of the student from below average to average. Okay, average है, you have to make the intelligent. Got it? तो ये assessment है. Assessment इतना powerful tool है. Assessment इतनी important है. Right? Okay. ओके जी, नेक्स्ट आ जाओ सोशियोमेट्रिक टेक्निक. अब ये देखो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. ये थर्ड यूनिट में से आया, यूनिट थर्ड. दैट्स व्हाई ना स्टार्टिंग में आई हैव सीन द सिलेबस. ओके, व्हाट आर द 4 यूजेस ऑफ द सोशियोमेट्रिक टेक्निक? ये आजकल बहुत हो रही है, बहुत आज मोस्टली इन द स्कूल एंड कॉलेजेस, राइट? बेसिकली मोस्टली इन द स्कूल्स. सोशियोमेट्रिक टेक्निक क्या होती है? एज द नेम सजेस्टेड, सोशियो, इट इज रिलेटेड विद द सोसाइटी, right? Sociometric technique, right? Basically it is developed by this, ठीक है? ये चाहे आप ना भी लिखो, ठीक है? Basically you have to start, okay, the meaning of sociometric technique. Through this technique, हाँ, यहां से आप कर सकते हैं स्टार्ट. ओके, ये देखो यहां से whatever I have selected this. It is a means of presenting simply and graphically the structure of a social relations, lines of communications, and the pattern of a friendship, attraction, and rejection that exist at a given time among a member of the particular group. Simple word में मैं समझाता हूं आपको, ठीक है? In a simple word, basically sociometric technique means, मतलब in your class if there are 30 students ना, तो how much they are social, how much they have the liking, disliking, okay, attractions, friendship with each other. Okay, so unka social behavior, to measure the social behavior of the student, to measure the social behavior of the student, sociometric techniques is used. Okay, because it depends upon the development of the student also. Do you know it? Ye dekho, through this technique the counselor or the guidance personnel can measure acceptance or rejection frequently between the member of the group. It is a commonly observed that some students, this is important, some students always like to stay together. Anna, you have seen that in your class, some students always like to stay together, and some students are more likely by all students. Some students are not liked by anyone, and so on. In the class of 30 students, some are liked by some persons, some are not liked by other person, some stay together. These social relationship existing among them influences all aspect of their development. So teaching does not mean कि वो syllabus cover करवाना है, guys. You have to work on the social, how much they are social. You have to work on social behavior of the student also. Okay, why the students are disliked by the other students, why some students are staying together. Okay, तो ये social relationship बहुत important है ये, because it also influences the all aspect of their development. वो देखो लिखा हुआ है सामने, right? Sociometric technique. Okay, it is therefore necessary, ये देखो ये बड़ा important पैरा है. Okay, it is therefore necessary for the teacher to evaluate these social relationship that exist among the pupils or students. This sociometric technique is a method of evaluating the social acceptance of the individual student. It is grounded on the individual student's choice of friendship for some group situations or activity. In this technique, one can know which student would be congenial for a working group or a companies for a certain work. राइट अब ये क्वालिटीज ऑफ ए फीचर्स ऑफ ए सोशियोमेट्रिक टेक्निक. ठीक है, तो आई थिंक यू हैव कम टू नो दैट. ओके, तो ये देखो ना, बेसिकली सम स्टूडेंट्स है ना, दे रिमेन आइसोलेट. तो हाउ वी विल कम टू नो दे रिमेन आइसोलेट? इफ वी नो अबाउट द सोशियोमेट्रिक टेक्निक, राइट? तो देखो अल्टीमेटली बात वहीं पर आ रही है जो मैंने फर्स्ट मोस्टली इन माय लेक्चर्स आई ऑलवेज से दैट टीचिंग मींस टू नो द सब्जेक्ट फर्स्ट. Teaching means to know the child first. Matlab, you should know that why he is isolate, why, what is a memory pattern of the student, what is the attitude of the student, aptitude of the student, from which family he has come, what is the mental level of the student, what is the growth development. So these all things you should know about it, whether he is social or not, right? Now the student has come in your custody for 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. Okay, so you are responsible for that. You cannot say that they are weak. Okay, so eliminate this word in your dictionary. You are going to become a teacher, right? You don't have to say in whole of the life the student is weak. All right, you are the persons, you have to make the student intelligent, and every student is intelligent. Trust me, every student is intelligent, right? Every student is intelligent. The main thing is that he or she is not getting the environment. Environment is given by the schools, environment is given by the parents, environment is given by the teachers, right? So environment is given by the teachers, so this is the responsibility of the school. Okay, ये डॉक्टर बेंजामिन ब्लूम ने कहा था, राइट? तो इन दी नेक्स्ट वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट इट. ओके, तो ये हमारे चारों क्वेश्चंस हो गए. सोशियोमेट्रिक टेक्निक होगी, डन. थर्ड हो गया ये पोर्टफोलियो. आप ये देख लेना गाइस, पोर्टफोलियो असेसमेंट होती है, सिंपल ही है. ये थर्ड क्वेश्चन है आपके गाइड में, पेज नंबर 197. ओके, मतलब इट इज रिटन इन ए वेरी सिंपल वे, तो दैट्स व्हाई आई डिडंट मेक ए नोट्स. तो you can learn from over there. It is only 2 pages. Okay, portfolio page number 197. Okay, हम फोर्थ क्वेश्चन करते हैं. व्हाट इज द कंसेप्ट ऑफ ए डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट? ये देखो, अब पहले वो देख लें हम पेपर हमारा. तो डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन असेसमेंट एंड इवैल्यूएशंस वी आर डन, राइट? क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट वी आर डन. 4 uses of a sociometric technique we are done. Concept of a portfolio you have to learn from your guide, page number 197. I have mentioned in the notes. Okay, because in a guide it is written in a easy way. Now we are discussing the what is the concept of a diagnostic test. Diagnosis test या diagnostic एक ही बात है. ठीक हो गया? आ जाओ जी, वहां पे नोट्स पे आ जाओ. ये देखो, what is the concept of a diagnosis test? Okay, पढ़ो जरा क्या चीज है. डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट इज ए टेस्ट. ये देखो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, यूनिट थर्ड में है 2 टेस्ट, डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट एंड अचीवमेंट टेस्ट. हमेशा आते हैं, ऑलवेज कम्स इन द पेपर. तो दिस इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट? एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट कंस्ट्रक्शन स्टेप्स आर इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट गाइस? डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट क्या चीज है? दिस इज अगेन ए टूल. देखो, अगेन असेसमेंट टूल है ये. ओके, फर्स्ट यू शुड नो इट. whatever you are learning ना, you should know it. ये सारे के सारे असेसमेंट टूल हैं. फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट, समेटिव असेसमेंट, क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट, नॉर्म रेफरेंस टेस्ट, अचीवमेंट टेस्ट, डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट, सारे असेसमेंट टूल्स हैं, राइट? असेसमेंट मींस टू इंप्रूवमेंट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट. ओके, tools are used by the teacher, assessment tools are used by the teacher for the improvement of the student. A diagnostic test is a test, ये देखिए, a diagnostic test is a test designed to locate specific learning deficiencies in case of a specific individuals at a specific stage of learning, so that specific effort could be made to overcome those deficiencies through remedial instruction. क्या बात है, कितनी बढ़िया डेफिनेशन दी हुई है ना. डायग्नोसिस टेस्ट, डायग्नोस्टिक या डायग्नोसिस एक ही बात है. ए डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट इज ए टेस्ट, डायग्नोज करना है ना, यू ढूंढना उसका व्हाट वाज द बेसिकली प्रॉब्लम ऑफ द स्टूडेंट, राइट? व्हाट आर द लर्निंग डेफिशिएंसीज, what are the learning deficiencies, right? And to work on these deficiencies by providing remedial instruction, ये वर्क है टीचर का. गॉट इट? काउंसलर की गाइडेंस की, साइकोलॉजिस्ट की, देयर इज ए नो नीड. टीचर इज ए इटसेल्फ ए काउंसलर. टीचर इज ए इटसेल्फ ए psychiatric. Because in your B.Ed syllabus, if you know the syllabus thoroughly, right, 2-year course, it is a teaching methodology. So guys, even you can teach better to the student. Even you can teach better to your children also, right? The diagnostic process may involve informal assessment by the teacher. हाँ, naturally it is an informal assessment. फॉर्मल असेसमेंट तो हो नहीं सकती. फॉर्मल के अंदर क्या आ गए? फॉर्मल के अंदर आ गए टेस्ट, आ गए क्विजेस, आ गए डिबेट्स, आ गए, राइट? बट ये तो स्टूडेंट हैविंग द लर्निंग डेफिशिएंसीज, might be he having the learning deficiencies, right? It can be overcome by the test, right? So ठीक है, सीधा चलते हैं हम. फीचर्स ऑफ डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्टिंग. डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट समझ तो आ गया आपको, ठीक है? व्हाट इज अ डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट? डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट मींस टू नो द learning deficiencies of the student so that we can work on the student so that their learning deficiencies would be overcome, right? Features of diagnostic testing या characteristics of a diagnostic testing. Number first, the diagnostic test takes up where the formative test leaves off. कितनी बढ़िया लाइन लिखी हुई है. The diagnostic test takes up where the formative test leaves off. अब you know what happened? What happened, guys? You have applied a test to the student. You have given the quizzes, debates, many tests, but again and again you are finding that student is not getting a good marks. Okay, so then तो क्या होता है? If the teacher does not having the knowledge, he'll say that he is very weak student. और ना वो लेबल ही आप लगा दोगे स्टूडेंट के ऊपर. Although student was very very smart and very intelligent. Okay, see the movie of Amir Khan. कौन सी मूवी थी वो? तारे जमीन पर, right? So basically the problem lies in the learning deficiencies. Up now you have to leave your assessment test. You have to work on the diagnostic test. वो देखो फर्स्ट लिखा है the diagnostic test takes up where the formative test leaves off. So you should have knowledge ना. So basically you don't have the knowledge, then you label the student कि student is weak. Second देखो, a diagnostic test is a means by which an individual profile is examined and compared against certain norms or criteria. Diagnostic test focuses on individual educational weakness or learning deficiency and identify the gaps in pupils. This is your duty to identify the gaps in pupil. This is called the teaching, na? Getting? अब now क्या हो रहा है? Now, when you go for a interview, so basically they check your B.Ed degree. It is a must, along with what the persons who is taking your interview, he say to you, okay, please teach to particular class. The way you are teaching, the way you are demonstrating the lesson, he will come to know your teaching patterns, your teaching abilities, your teaching competences. Then he appoints you, either accepts or rejects you. Okay, so it depends upon your teaching efficiencies. And what you say that कि वहां तो पार्शियलिटी थी, वहां तो किसी का फोन आ गया, उनको रख लिया, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता, right? If you are a good in your teaching, you would be selected in any schools, any of the school in the world, if you have the knowledge, right? So ये सारा हो गया, ठीक है गाइस? आई थिंक समझ आ गया आपको, है ना? डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट. ओके, अब ये कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ ए डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये स्टेप्स कर लेना इसके, ठीक है, ये याद है। कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ ए डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट, स्टेप 1 आइडेंटिफाइंग लर्निंग डेफिशिएंसीज, है ना। फर्स्ट आपको यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई, देन एनालाइजिंग एरर्स, then analyzing the content element, then identifying learning points to be covered, then selections of a format and developing test items, assembling the test, seventh administering the test, और आठवां scoring analysis and interpretation। ठीक है, ये आपको लर्न करने पड़ेंगे। ओके गाइज, how to construct a, although it is a books में तो it is a very much confusion in your guide, okay, both the test, so I have made a easy notes for you for the construction of a diagnostic test and construction of a achievement test, okay, and I advise to all of you, you have to learn both, ठीक है। So that's why I have told you should have copy and pen, उसी में आपको पता लगता रहेगा सारा। मैं इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स भी बता देता हूं, ओके, आई एक्सप्लेन इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स आल्सो, इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस आल्सो, इवन अलोंग विद होल सिलेबस एंड लास्ट ईयर पेपर आल्सो, राइट। सो ऑल द 4 क्वेश्चंस वी आर डन, ओके। सो आ जाओ वापस यहाँ पे, ठीक है, 4 शॉर्ट हो गया, ये बड़े वाला भी हो गया, ओके। ये करंट प्रैक्टिसेस हैं फॉलोड इन स्कूल्स, ये एंड में मैंने डिस्क्राइब की हुई है, इट इज ए वेरी सिंपल। तो नाउ वी टॉक अबाउट द ब्लूम टैक्सोनॉमी, राइट। ये देखो, ये बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है, मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट। इसको आपको, ठीक है, सभी को करनी है अकॉर्डिंग टू दी। पढ़ो क्वेश्चंस क्या है, 4th क्वेश्चंस, ओके, रीड ऑल ऑफ यू। ओके, ये मैं पीपीटी के थ्रू आपको समझाता हूं, ओके। विद द हेल्प ऑफ ए पीपीटी आई एक्सप्लेन दिस कंसेप्ट, taxonomy of instructional objective 2001, what are the domains of learning, right। ये देखिए गाइस, ये आ गया हमारा, राइट। Basically it is called Bloom taxonomy, okay। Bloom, it is a name of the person, right। ये देखिए, Bloom taxonomy was created in 1956 under the leadership of educational psychologist Dr. Benjamin Bloom। इनका पूरा नाम है डॉक्टर बेंजामिन सैमुअल ब्लूम, राइट। डॉक्टर बेंजामिन ब्लूम, in order to promote higher forms of thinking in education। अब what was thinking in before 1956 means there was no higher order of a thinking, that was a lower order of a thinking, है ना। through the mug okay, learning method सारे थे, rote learning थी सारी, right। So basically Dr. Benjamin Bloom identified that, so in order to promote the higher forms of thinking in education, such as, ये देखो एक एक वर्ड बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है, such as analyzing and evaluating concept, processes, procedures, principles, rather than just remembering facts through the rote learning, right। Bloom taxonomy provides an important framework for teachers। ये सारा पेपर ही टीचर के लिए है, असेसमेंट फॉर लर्निंग, नॉलेज एंड करिकुलम टीचर्स के लिए है, ओके, बिकॉज ये टीचिंग मेथोडोलॉजी है। इफ यू नो इट, देन यू विल बिकम an effective teacher। Bloom taxonomy provides an important framework for teachers to use to focus on higher order thinking. By providing a hierarchy of levels, this taxonomy can assist teachers in designing performance tasks, crafting questions for conferring students, and providing feedback on student work। ये देखो गाइस, बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है ये, राइट। Means how you have to stimulate the students, you should have the tools in your hand, right। देखो ना, one thing is that you will lose your patience, and one thing is that you are a good teacher, you know that how to modify the behavior of the student with your teaching, okay। So you should have that much of a material in your mind, right। That's why I always say that sharp your X। अब ये देखो नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में, ब्लूम टैक्सोनॉमी, टैक्सोनॉमी समझ आ गया। टैक्सोनॉमी का सिंपल वर्ड है क्लासिफिकेशन, ओके। ब्लूम, द नेम ऑफ द पर्सन, ही गेव ए वन क्लासिफिकेशन okay, on the instructional objective means, in a simple term, Bloom has said that how you have to teach to the student and how you have to develop the higher order of a thinking among student. Should I repeat? Bloom taxonomy means Bloom has told you, Bloom has given you the method for the teachers, how you have to teach to the student, number one, and how you have to develop the higher order of thinking among children. Okay. So generally, ये देख लो, तीन चीजें याद कर लो. Generally, these objectives fall into three categories. तो Bloom has said, मैंने दो वर्ड बोले हैं ना, मैंने दो लाइंस, ठीक है. What was my first line? The first line is Bloom has told you how you have to teach to the student. So first of all, Bloom has given you the three domains, right? One is cognitive domain, second is affective domain, third is psychomotor domain. Okay, अब इसको अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं. ये देखो, तो फर्स्ट वही आ गया. Bloom has told you the method how the child has to learn. Okay, and second, how you can develop the higher order of thinking. तो बेसिकली Bloom ने सजेस्ट किया there are three domains of learning. Learning that is a transferring knowledge, learning that is a developing attitude, learning that is a generating skill. तो बेसिकली ये तीनों वही चीजें आ गई, कॉग्निटिव, अफेक्टिव और साइकोमोटर. और यही तीन चीजें वो देखो नीचे आई हैव रिटन एग्जांपल, इट इज सेड बाय महात्मा गांधी जी, राइट. महात्मा गांधी जी, आपने उनका पढ़ा है ना, भी हमने उसमें पढ़ा है, यस, नॉलेज एंड करिकुलम में, लास्ट लेक्चर में. ओके, एजुकेशनल फिलॉसफी ऑफ ए महात्मा गांधी जी. तो महात्मा गांधी जी आल्सो टॉक अबाउट द 3H. वो कौन से थे 3H? हेड, हैंड और हार्ट. मीन्स when you have to teach to the child, okay, these three things would be involved. This is a mixture of the three things: head, hand and heart. Head, hand and heart. Head, hand and heart. क्या मतलब हुआ इसका? It means whatever the lecture you have to prepare, whatever the topic you have to prepare. अब listen me carefully, because you have to appear for the practical exam. You have to prepare for the appear for the practical exam. And listen me, so three things you have to cover up. Okay, it does not mean any of the language which you were asking the question from me, right? Basically, you have to prepare your lecture, which is including the three aspects. What are the three aspects? Cognitive, affective and psychomotor domain, or 3H, head, hand and heart. ओके, तो फर्स्ट इसको अंडरस्टैंड करो आप, कॉग्निटिव डोमेन का मीनिंग क्या है. ये देखो, इन ए कॉग्निटिव डोमेन, द फर्स्ट cognitive domain means meaning, knowing and perceiving. In a simple learning context, बीच में कौन आ गया है ये. In a simple learning context, cognitive means knowledge, cognitive means thought, cognitive means memory, cognitive means perception, cognitive means remembering, cognitive means mental skills. So जितने भी mind से related चीजें हैं, this is called, that comes under the cognitive domain. So number one, you have to prepare your lecture that will cover one aspect which is a cognitive domain. अभी complete नहीं हुआ है. Second देखिए, in your lecture you have to teach the affective domain of the student also. What is the affective domain? Meaning affection, emotion, feelings, attitude, right? So now you have to add the next aspect in your lecture. क्या है? Affection, emotion, feelings, right? Third is, still your lecture is not completed. थर्ड इज साइकोमोटर. अब वो कॉग्निटिव में आ गया 3H, हेड, अफेक्टिव डोमेन, हार्ट, राइट. थर्ड है H, हैंड. हैंड मींस स्किल्स, वर्क करना. द साइकोमोट्रिक डोमेन मींस मूवमेंट, स्किल रिलेटेड विद द एक्शन. ओके, सो ये देखो, दिस इज अ ब्लूम टैक्सोनॉमी. ब्लूम टैक्सोनॉमी से दैट Okay, how the children learn basically, है ना? I again repeat it, okay, because you will come to know that Bloom has told us how the children learns, how you have to teach to the children, and second, how you have to develop the highest form of thinking. Okay, so it would be only possible when you work on this, when you prepare the lecture. Your lecture should be a mixture of, ये बार बार स्टूडेंट्स आ रहे हैं गाइस, योर लेक्चर शुड बी ए मिक्सचर ऑफ कॉग्निटिव डोमेन, affective domain, and psychomotor domain. Okay, in your lecture, in all the three aspects should be covered in your lecture. Okay, then guys, trust me, that topic student will retain up to the whole life. This is called teaching. Got it? ये देखो, head, heart and hand. हेड आ गया कॉग्निटिव प्रोसेस, हार्ट आ गया अफेक्टिव, हैंड आ गया साइकोमोटर, है ना? उससे रिलेट भी हो गया गांधी जी की उसके साथ भी, ब्लूम टेक्सोनोमी, राइट? अब ये देखो, ये ब्लूम टेक्सोनोमी में ये था कॉग्निटिव डोमेन, ठीक है? अंडर द कॉग्निटिव डोमेन, राइट, फर्स्ट यू हैव टू this is a lower order thinking skills to the higher order thinking skill. Whenever you have to teach to the student, you have to start from the knowledge, then comprehension, then application, then analysis, then synthesis, then evaluation. Right? Okay. So one after the other means you have to teach to the student from simple to complex. Okay. ये देखो, ये ब्लूम टेक्सोनोमी है. अंडर द ब्लूम टेक्सोनोमी, फर्स्ट तो आपने वही बताना है कि अकॉर्डिंग टू द ब्लूम टेक्सोनोमी, ब्लूम हैज गिवन द थ्री डोमेन्स ऑफ द लर्निंग: कॉग्निटिव डोमेन, अफेक्टिव डोमेन एंड साइकोमोटर डोमेन. एंड यू नो, अंडर द कॉग्निटिव डोमेन 6 ये स्टेप्स आ गए हैं, और अंडर द अफेक्टिव डोमेन 5, और अंडर द साइकोमोटर डोमेन्स अगेन ये 6 आ गए हैं, राइट? तो ये साइड बाय साइड यू कैन सी इन द notes also, so that you will come to know that there would be no confusions to you, right? I have explained the, you know, Bloom taxonomy. ये देखो, ये Bloom taxonomy, right? Unit 2. ये देखो, ये सारे यहीं से लिए हुए हैं, Bloom taxonomy, higher order of thinking, मतलब for the PPT, right? ये देख, learning that is a transferable attitude generating skills, cognitive, affective and psychomotor. और ये देखिए, अंडर द कॉग्निटिव डोमेन, नॉलेज कॉम्प्रीहेंशन, ये फ्रॉम लोअर टू अपर है, तो बट आई हैव रिटन लाइक दैट. ओके, नॉलेज कॉम्प्रीहेंशन, देखो नॉलेज का मतलब है रिकॉल द डेटा. ओके, whenever you have to teach to the student, just teach like that, recalling the data. Okay, then you know, understanding, उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बनेगी. Okay, when the student has made the understanding, then talk about the, if they have made the understanding, then talk about the uses of things, then talk about the structure elements, then create, then assess and judge. ठीक है? ये 6 पॉइंट, अफेक्टिव में 5, साइकोमोटर में 6. तो ये एक्सप्लेन है गाइस. ये देखो, कॉग्निटिव डोमेन, नॉलेज, it represents the lowest level of a objective belonging to the cognitive domain and primarily aims for acquisition of knowledge concerning by recalling fundamental facts, terms, basic concept and answer about the selection. Under the comprehension is based upon knowledge. Okay, first you have given the basic concept, Hana, you have taught the basic concept, fundamental concept, then slowly you come on the comprehension. Comprehension is based upon the knowledge. If there is no knowledge, there will be no comprehension. ये देखो, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये. Are you getting? This is the most important. Okay, so guys, actually what you do when you are teaching to the student, okay, you directly come on the you know, comprehension difficult part. If in a simple term, if easy things is not understood by the student, how the student will learn the difficult thing? All right, guys, please mute it. अभी जो those have joined ना yet, okay, please mute it. रिम्पी, आपकी बहुत प्रॉब्लम आ रही है बार बार ना. ओके, राइट? तो कॉम्प्रीहेंशन आ गया, कॉम्प्रीहेंशन बेस्ड अपॉन द नॉलेज. इफ, ये बेंजामिन ब्लूम कहते हैं, इफ देयर इज नो नॉलेज, देयर विल बी नो कॉम्प्रीहेंशन. Right? On the ladder of acquisition of a cognitive ability, its level is little higher than the knowledge. Okay, so from that way, so we come upon your PPT. ठीक है guys? तो basically ब्लूम टेक्सोनोमी में ये 3 पॉइंट्स हैं, 3 डोमेन्स ऑफ लर्निंग है, कॉग्निटिव, अफेक्टिव एंड साइकोमोटर. अंडर दिस you have to learn these all things, right? This is I'm talking about the Bloom taxonomy, but in our topic you can say that it is written according to the revised taxonomy. Okay, you have to talk about the revised taxonomy, right? Taxonomy, ab aapko you have come to know about the taxonomy given by the Dr. Benjamin Bloom in the year of 1956. He talked about how the children learn. There are 3 domains of the learning: cognitive, affective and the psychomotor, right? Under the cognitive there are 6 points. Under the next is effective may there are 5 points, again 6 points. Okay, so this you have to learn. This is called the Bloom taxonomy. But here you have to talk about the revised Bloom taxonomy, right? ये अभी बैक वाली मैंने बात की है. So under the revised what happened, right? ये थे बेंजामिन ब्लूम. तो ब्लूम हैज सेड दैट, ये देखो पढ़ो इनकी कोटेशंस बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है. कहते हैं एजुकेशन मस्ट बी increasingly concerned about the fullest development of the children and youth. It will be the responsibility of the school to seek learning condition which will enable each individual to reach the highest level of a learning possible. और नेक्स्ट क्या बोलते हैं बेंजामिन ब्लूम, ये पढ़ो. कहते हैं आफ्टर 40 years of a intensive research on school learning in the United States as well as abroad, my major conclusion is what, ये देखो पढ़ो, this is important, what any person in the world can learn, almost all persons can learn, almost all persons can learn if provided with appropriate prior and current conditions of learning. It is said by the Benjamin Bloom. So student is never ever weak. Okay, we are the persons, we have to provide the current conditions of learning, prior and current conditions of a learning. Then what would happen if any of the persons in the world can learn the thing, right? So same thing is learned by any of the person, right guys? So ये देखो, ये है ब्लूम की रिवाइज टेक्सोनॉमी, राइट? सो अंडर द रिवाइज्ड, बस यही चीज है ओनली, अंडर द रिवाइज टेक्सोनॉमी ऑफ ब्लूम, राइट, ही हैज गिवन द पॉइंट. ये देखो लोअर टू अपर लर्न करना है आपको. रिमेंबरिंग, अंडरस्टैंडिंग, अप्लाइंग, एनालाइजिंग, इवेल्युएटिंग एंड क्रिएटिंग. एक स्लाइड दिखाता हूं, वहां से क्लियर हो जाएगा. ये रहा, ये देखो, ये 1956 में थी, राइट? वो 6 पॉइंट्स अभी पढ़े थे ना अंडर द कॉग्निटिव डोमेन. क्या थे? नॉलेज था ना फर्स्ट, नॉलेज, कॉम्प्रिहेंशन, एप्लीकेशन, एनालिसिस, सिंथेसिस एंड इवैल्यूएशन. बट अंडर द 2001, यही था ना क्वेश्चन, अंडर द 2001 यू हैव टू टॉक अबाउट दीज पॉइंट्स. ओके, द फर्स्ट पॉइंट इज रिमेंबर, अंडरस्टैंड, अप्लाई, एनालाइज, इवैल्यूएट एंड क्रिएट. Notes पे guys you can see that it is a very much easily defined. Okay, particular question is defined. Okay, ये देखो, I show you in the notes, right? Okay, ये तो old चल रही है सारी, ठीक है, effective domain and others. Okay, ये questions आपका, ये देखो यहाँ start हो गया, ठीक है? तो simple it is written. Okay, just to understand you ना through the PPT. ये देखो, according to the revised taxonomy, question number 4 है, right? ये देखो क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 है ना पेपर में. दिस इज द पेपर असेसमेंट फॉर लर्निंग. दिस इज द क्वेश्चन नंबर 4. अकॉर्डिंग टू द रिवाइज्ड टेक्सोनॉमी व्हाट आर द डोमेन्स ऑफ लर्निंग, राइट? तो ये देखो, अकॉर्डिंग टू द रिवाइज्ड टेक्सोनॉमी ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शनल ऑब्जेक्टिव 2001 व्हाट आर द डोमेन्स ऑफ लर्निंग, राइट? तो ये देखो, द रिवाइज्ड टेक्सोनॉमी फोकसेस ऑन 6 लेवल: रिमेंबर, अंडरस्टैंड, अप्लाई, एनालाइज, इवैल्यूएट एंड क्रिएट. तो ये देखो, अंडर द रिमेंबर यू हैव टू टॉक लाइक दिस, अंडरस्टैंड में टॉक लाइक दिस, अप्लाई, एनालाइज, इवैल्यूएट एंड क्रिएट. ओके, तो ये देखो, ये ब्लूम टेक्सोनॉमी है अंडर 2001. रिमेंबरिंग, अंडरस्टैंडिंग, अप्लाइंग, एनालाइजिंग, इवैल्यूएटिंग एंड क्रिएटिंग. तो बेसिकली उनके जो स्टूडेंट थे और फर्दर डिसाइपल थे, तो बेसिकली उन्होंने जो कॉग्निटिव डोमेन था, नाउन को वर्ब में चेंज कर दिया, राइट इट। ओके गाइस, तो अभी हम नोट्स पे चलते हैं अपने। ब्लूम टेक्सोनॉमी, ओके, ये क्वेश्चन आ गया हमारा, the revised taxonomy, right? So I think it is clear to you, right? Under the revised taxonomy, what you have to write under the cognitive domain, you have to talk about the 6 points from lower to higher. ये देखो ना, lower thinking skills. You have to start from remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating and creating. Okay? तो वैसे explain किए हुए हैं, ये देखिए, remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluating and creating. Right, guys? So I think it is clear to all of you, right? So next we talk about fifth questions. Okay, see in our paper, this is the paper, Hana, last year paper, right? The fifth is 4 questions we are done, right? Fifth is, what is the procedure of a developing an achievement test? Discuss the use of an achievement test, right guys? ये करते हैं हम। फिर फिफ्थ के बाद साथ ही हम 6 कर लेंगे, concept of a CCE. Okay, then 7th or then 8th or 9th, right? Descriptive statistics. Okay, so now we are doing the 5th one. Okay, 4 we are done it. ये देखो 5th. What is the procedure of a developing an achievement test? Discuss the uses of achievement test. Okay. Diagnostic test we are done. Okay. Similarly, achievement test we have to do. Hana, I have already told you कि according to diagnostic test and achievement test, both are in the same sections. Okay, both you have to do. Okay. ये देखो achievement test क्या होता है? As the name is suggested, achievement test measures how an individual has learned over time and what the individual has learned by analyzing his present performance. It also measures how a person understands and masters a particular knowledge area at the present time. Right? यहां से देखते हैं ये इंपॉर्टेंट वन। अचीवमेंट टेस्ट क्या चीज है? अचीवमेंट टेस्ट इज एन एक्सीलेंट चॉइस टू एनालाइज एंड इवेलुएट द academic performance of an individual. For instance, yeah, for example, every school requires its student to show their proficiency in a variety of subjects. In most cases, students are expected to pass to some degree to move to the next class, and achievement test will record and evaluate the performance of these students to determine how well they are performing against the standard. ना, for their achievement, right? ये achievement test है। कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ अचीवमेंट टेस्ट, ये स्टेप्स आप लर्न कर लेना, गाइड में इट इज अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट। ओके, ये प्लानिंग ऑफ ए टेस्ट। ओके, सेकंड इज प्रिपरेशन ऑफ ए डिजाइन फॉर द टेस्ट। थर्ड, प्रिपेयरिंग ब्लूप्रिंट। फोर्थ इज राइटिंग ऑफ आइटम, राइट? फिफ्थ इज प्रिपरेशन ऑफ स्कोरिंग की एंड मार्किंग स्कीम। सिक्स इज एनालिसिस। ये 6 पॉइंट है कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ अचीवमेंट टेस्ट। ओके, नेक्स्ट है इसका यूज ऑफ अचीवमेंट टेस्ट, teacher use. It is a very simple, है ना? You can learn it. Okay, so we don't give too much time on this topic, right? Regarding the achievement test, characteristics जरूर कर लेना। Sometime in short question, characteristics of a achievement test या diagnostic test जरूर आती हैं। And under the characteristics of a good achievement, you have to talk about reliability and validity. This is the most important. Okay, what is the reliability? Reliability means consistency of the test. Means if you are using the same test 1000 times, so always, it should be correct. Okay, reliable. Okay, and validity means if the test is made for achievement purpose, so it should show the achievement. It should not show the intelligence, personality of the student. Okay, so this is called the validity, right? Validity means if any of the test is made for a particular purpose, it should evaluate, assess the particular thing, not the other thing. This is called the validity. So this is the characteristics of the test. This is the most important, reliability and validity, right? Objectivity पता ही है सारों को, usability भी पता ही है सारों को, right? Okay, next आ गया हमारा 6th question. What is the concept of importance of a CCE? कंटिन्यूज एंड कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इवेल्युएशन। ऑलवेज ये आता होता है, हाँ ये, ठीक है। कंटिन्यूस एंड कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इवेल्युएशन, इट इज अगेन इजी गाइज, बिकॉज इवेल्युएशन यू नो इट, स्टार्टिंग में हमने किया था ना असेसमेंट एंड इवेल्युएशन, दिस इज द रीजन, बिकॉज यू आर डन द इवेल्युएशन, तो ये इट इज इजी फॉर यू। तो सीसीई क्या चीज है? सीसीई रेफर्स टू ए, ये देखिए, स्कूल बेस्ड इवेल्युएशन विच कवर्स all aspect of a school activity related to child development. It emphasizes twofold objectives such as continuity of evaluation and assessment of a learning outcome in a comprehensive manner. It covers all domains of learning: cognitive, affective and psychomotor domain. Now you have come to know about the domains of learning, through the Bloom taxonomy. So it covers all the domains of learning, right? In CCE, student performance in both scholastic and co-scholastic activities is assessed. CCE aims to reduce the curricular workload on student and to improve the overall abilities and skills of the student by means of evaluation of students' performance in both type of activities. आपको मालूम है CCE कब आया था? Because you have seen that there was lot of a bookish work, there is a lot of a burden on the shoulder of the student, and there is a lot of burden, and you are seeing in the newspaper and others such kind of a problem, lot of burden on the student. So basically CCE aims to reduce the curricular workload on the student and to improve the overall abilities and skills of a student by means of evaluation of a student performance in both types of activities, right? अब next आ गया meaning of continues, right? नेक्स्ट आ गया मीनिंग ऑफ कंटिन्यूज। ये मीनिंग ऑफ कंटिन्यूज आपने पढ़ना है। कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ ए कंटिन्यूज इवैल्यूएशंस यू हैव टू लर्न। मीनिंग ऑफ कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव, नेचर ऑफ कंटिन्यूज एंड कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इवैल्यूएशन, देन पर्पस ऑफ ए सीसीई। ठीक है, दिस इज अ सिंपल है पर्पस ऑफ ए सीसीई, राइट? एम्स एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ सीसीई, दिस इज अ वेरी मच सिंपल, दैट्स व्हाई ना आई एम गोइंग little bit fast. ये need and importance, significance, benefits of a CCE, continuous and comprehensive evaluation, है ना? बहुत बढ़िया notes बना दी है, you can learn it. Okay, basically आपको पता लग गया what is the purpose of a CCE, right? To reduce the curricular workload from the students. Merits हैं and demerits हैं. Okay, उसने यही पूछा था CCE के बारे में. Okay, next eighth question is, what are descriptive statistics? Illustrate with the example with respect to a interpreting students performance. Descriptive statistics क्या चीज है? It refers to a branch of statistics involves summarizing, organizing and presenting data meaningfully and concisely. It focuses on describing and analyzing, ये fourth unit आ गई आपकी. It focuses on describing and analyzing a data set's main feature and characteristics without making and generalizations or inferences to a larger population. The primary goal of a descriptive statistic is to provide a clear and concise summary of the data. Okay, तो descriptive statistics में always you have to learn guys. Okay, बिना देखे मैं बता रहा हूं आपको, you have to talk about measure of a central tendency, mean, median and mode. You have to talk about measure of a variability, dispersion, and you have to talk about percentile, right? ये standard deviation, ये देखो ये लिखा हुआ है, right? Descriptive statistics में. And also you have to talk about descriptive statistics also involves the graphical presentations of the data, bar diagram, histogram, ये all that comes under the descriptive. राइट ये देखो, कॉमन ग्राफिकल टेक्निक्स इंक्लूड हिस्टोग्राम, बार चार्ट, पाई चार्ट, स्कैटर प्लॉट एंड बॉक्स प्लॉट्स, राइट? अंडरस्टैंडिंग द डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ ए डिस्क्रिप्टिव स्टैटिस्टिक्स, ये भी हम करते हैं अभी फोर्थ यूनिट में, ठीक है? ये आपका एट्थ हो गया, ये नाइन्थ, ये लास्ट क्वेश्चन कर ले, फिर डायरेक्टली फोर्थ यूनिट के नोट्स भी बने पड़े हैं और यू कैन लर्न फ्रॉम द क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 आल्सो, राइट? लास्ट क्वेश्चन क्या है? इजी है बहुत ही, राइट? व्हाट आर द टूल्स ऑफ ए reporting students performance? Briefly explain along with their usage. ये देखो लास्ट टाइम आया हुआ है, सी द सिलेबस, ये सी द लास्ट ईयर पेपर, ये देखो ये भी हमने कर लिया सारा ना, ठीक है? कंसेप्ट ऑफ दिस, ओके, ये वाला हम कर रहे हैं टूल्स ऑफ रिपोर्टिंग, What are the tools of a reporting students performance? Briefly explain along with their usage. Okay, ये 9 के 9 कर लिए हैं, ये एक 7th रह गया हमारा, ठीक है, इसको देख लेना कोई नहीं आप, राइट। ये देखो, ये हम कर रहे हैं 9th। व्हाट आर द टूल्स ऑफ ए रिपोर्टिंग स्टूडेंट परफॉर्मेंस? ये बड़ा इजी है गाइस। हाउ वी रिपोर्ट टू द स्टूडेंट्स परफॉर्मेंस, टेल मी। हमने वी हैव टू रिपोर्ट रिकॉर्ड स्टूडेंट्स परफॉर्मेंस, कैसे होता है? सिंपल है, प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट, है ना, यू ऑल आर अवेयर। बस along with the progress report, 2-3 things you have to add. Okay, first make the heading progress report. Second, make it cumulative record. Third, make it profile. ठीक है, पहले ये समझ लो, ये देखो, रिपोर्टिंग स्टूडेंट परफॉर्मेंस मींस it is the important part, means you are going to report students performance. It is the important part of the assessment through which teacher, parent, administrator can diagnose, monitor, project the strength and weakness of the student and their achievement level and bring further modification if needed. हाँ, सिंपल आ गया ना। तो कैसे हमें पता लगता है रिपोर्टिंग ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स परफॉर्मेंस? ये देखो, फर्स्ट आ गया प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट, है ना, इट इज अ वेरी मच इजी, यू आर ऑल अवेयर ऑफ दैट। प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट चलती होती थी, है ना, व्हेन ओके वी यूज्ड टू गो टू द स्कूल्स। ये सेकंड आ गया कम्युलेटिव रिकॉर्ड। ओके, अभी मैं समझाता हूं कम्युलेटिव रिकॉर्ड क्या है। थर्ड है, थर्ड यू हैव टू मेक हेडिंग ऑफ प्रोफाइल, राइट। ओके, ये आपका क्वेश्चन खत्म हो गया। ओके, 3-4 पॉइंट्स के ऊपर ही, राइट। ये स्टूडेंट्स परफॉर्मेंस, ये जरूर करना, दिस इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट। फोर्थ पार्ट का ऑलवेज आता है ये क्वेश्चन, राइट, ऑलवेज। क्या है क्वेश्चन? व्हाट आर द टूल्स ऑफ ए रिपोर्टिंग स्टूडेंट्स परफॉर्मेंस? ब्रीफली एक्सप्लेन अलोंग विद देयर यूसेज। ओके, आई शो यू इन दिस सिलेबस आल्सो। ओके, आपको थोड़ा सा, ये देखो, ये यूनिट 1 है हमारा सिलेबस का, है ना। यूनिट 1 यू आर अवेयर ऑफ दैट, यूनिट 2 यू आर अवेयर ऑफ दैट, थर्ड भी अवेयर है, ये फोर्थ आ गया गाइस। ये देखो, ये देखो, फोर्थ का सिलेबस आ गया ना आपके सामने। ये देखो, ये नीचे वाला पार्ट है, ये पार्ट, ये है, ये कर रहे हैं हम क्वेश्चन। आ गया, ये थोड़ा बड़ा कर देते हैं इसको। ये देखो, रिपोर्टिंग स्टूडेंट परफॉर्मेंस, प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट, कम्युलेटिव रिकॉर्ड, प्रोफाइल एंड दियर यूसेज, पोर्टफोलियोज, राइट। ये क्वेश्चंस वी आर डूइंग दैट। ओके, क्लियर हो गया ना आपको? अब करते हैं ये क्वेश्चंस, ठीक है। रिपोर्टिंग स्टूडेंट्स परफॉर्मेंस, राइट। तो रिपोर्टिंग स्टूडेंट परफॉर्मेंस, यू हैव कम टू नो दैट, मींस थ्रू द रिपोर्टिंग यू विल कम टू नो दैट, है ना, हाउ यू हैव टू डायग्नोज, है ना, मॉनिटर, एंड यू जस्ट वांट टू नो दैट स्ट्रेंथ एंड वीकनेस ऑफ द स्टूडेंट। वो तो इट इज पॉसिबल ओनली व्हेन यू विल रिपोर्ट इट। ओके, तो फिजिकल रिपोर्ट कैसे करोगे? वन इज ए प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट, यू आर डन इट। Second is cumulative record. ठीक है, तो we understand the cumulative record. This is the most important. Sometimes short questions can come, sometimes long questions can come. Cumulative record क्या होता है guys? ये देखिए, cumulative record contains a factual and objective information about the student's academic progress, attendance and midterm and final exams. They are valuable for teachers to know the student's strength and weakness. Okay, means when the student takes the admission in the school, एक रिकॉर्ड बन जाता है, and when he leaves the school, वो सारा रिकॉर्ड उसका, each and everything is noted. This is called the cumulative record. Okay, ये देखो, teacher maintain a cumulative record of all the students when they enter the school and continue till they leave the school. Right, ये cumulative record हो गया। फिर उसके characteristics, uses वगैरह आप you can write it because it is easy explained. Okay, the concept should be cleared. Third है reporting student performance is profile. Right, a student profile is a document. ये देखिए, प्रोफाइल क्या चीज है? A student profile is a document that helps teacher to know the detail about their student. A learner profile may include the information such as likes and dislikes, how the student like to learn, life experiences, aspirations, passions, skills, strength, interests, struggles, potentials, barriers to learning, or it may include anything that student or teacher seems important. तो ये भी अच्छे गुड स्कूल्स होते हैं, ये मेक इट फॉर द रिपोर्टिंग द स्टूडेंट्स परफॉर्मेंस, राइट। प्रोफाइल्स आ गया। तो इन ए नटशेल, लास्ट में वी कैन से दैट it is the statistics of the class as it helps the teacher to sort, categorize and summarize the classroom data इट इज अ मैपिंग ऑफ द इंटायर क्लास इन नटशेल, राइट। तो ये आपका 9th क्वेश्चन भी हो गया गाइस। एक 10th क्वेश्चन मैंने ये बनाया है, ओके, इफ यू वांट टू डू तो यू कैन डू आल्सो। इट इज रिलेटेड विद दिस, व्हाट इज मेंट बाय ए स्कूल बेस्ड क्रेडिट्स, वो ग्रेडिंग वाला है एक। डिस्कस द एडवांटेज एंड डिसएडवांटेजेस, ओके। तो नाउ वी आर डन विद योर होल पेपर, ओके, नाउ सी इट। तो ये सारा का सारा हमारा हो गया पेपर आपका, ओके। अब आपका एक 4th वाला पार्ट रह गया, तो ओनली आई विल टेक 10 मिनट्स मोर, राइट। ये देखिए गाइस, 4th पार्ट, ओके, कंस्ट्रक्शन। Because now you are thinking it is a difficult, but it is a very easy. Construction, interpretations and reporting of students' performance. तो ये पार्ट तो we are done. Reporting on students' performance. Okay. तो अब क्या रह गया हमारा? हमारा ये रह गया descriptive statistics. ठीक है, ये भी हमने कर लिया, लेकिन we should know कि what we have to learn. Measure of a central tendency, measure of a variability and percentages. Graphical presentation, ये क्वेश्चन आ जाता होता है कई बार, right? Graphical presentation of the data. Under this we have to talk about histogram, frequency curves, NPC, ये हमेशा आता है, always NPC, normal probability curve, और ये ग्रेडिंग में वो मैंने जो क्वेश्चंस बनाया हुआ था, ठीक है गाइस। और नेक्स्ट वाला तो हमारा इजी है, ये वाला पार्ट तो फीडबैक टू द स्टेक होल्डर्स, ओके। तो मैं सीधा चलता हूं नोट्स पे, और ये 4th यूनिट के आपके after finishing of the solving of the last year paper, in the end, okay, I have made notes of unit 4 separately, right? Even 1 or 2 questions have already come, okay, but in the last I have made the notes, okay, you can see it. So from over there we can discuss only for within a 10 minutes, right guys? It would be covered, okay, because mostly we have come to know that if descriptive statistics aata to what we have to write, but under this we have to learn it, central tendency. Under the central tendencies, mean, median, mode are given, okay, this you have to learn it. ये आपका ये आ गया आपका, ठीक है। ये देखो, कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ इंटरप्रिटेशन एंड रिपोर्टिंग ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स परफॉर्मेंस, ये नोट्स हैं आपके, ओके। अब ये देखो, इसमें शॉर्ट में भी ना मेरिट्स एंड डिमेरिट्स ऑफ मीडियन कर सकते हैं, तो यू शुड नो दैट इट हैज कम फ्रॉम द सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी, राइट। ये देखो सिलेबस देखो अपना, ये देखो मेजर ऑफ सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी है ना, अंडर द सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी 3 पार्ट, मीन, मीडियन एंड मोड, ओके। तो ये देखो वो मैंने वो भी डिफाइन किया हुआ है, मीडियंस का भी, राइट, और मीन, मीडियन, मोड भी। और ये देखो, ये सेकंड क्वेश्चंस मैंने बनाया हुआ है आपका दिस वाले पार्ट का, ये देखो ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशंस ऑफ डेटा, ओके, ये क्वेश्चंस फॉर्म में बना दिया, तो इट इज कवरिंग द क्वेश्चन, राइट। ये डिस्क्रिप्टिव स्टैटिस्टिक्स तो हम कर लिया है ना, ऊपर भी आ गया था, ये भी हो गया हमारा। ये ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ डेटा, ये देखो ये क्वेश्चन ही मैंने बना दिया, इसी में कवर हो जाएगा आपका। डिफाइन ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ ए डेटा, डिस्कस एनी वन मेथड ऑफ ए ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ ए ग्रुप डेटा। तो ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ ए डेटा क्या चीज है? ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ ए डेटा इज एन अट्रैक्टिव मेथड ऑफ शो कॉजिंग numerical data that help in analyzing and presenting quantitatively data visually. Okay, up you have to make a principal say that to the teachers, make the report card of every student and I want to check. So basically numerically when you make it, so it will look very shabby look, it will give a shabby look, huh? So you know the Excel and you make it with the help of a graph, because you have to show to the principal, है ना, you have to give the presentation. So basically graphical presentation of a data means कि quantitative data you show visually with the help of a graph, okay. तो ये आप पढ़ लेना सारा, ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ ए डेटा है, राइट। तो कौन कौन से आ गए? पहले बार डायग्राम आ गया, राइट गाइस। तो बार डायग्राम, बार ग्राफ क्या चीज होती है? इट इज आल्सो नोन एज ए कॉलम ग्राफ। अब बार ग्राफ और बार डायग्राम इज ए पिक्टोरियल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ डेटा। इन बार ग्राफ और डायग्राम डेटा इज प्रेजेंटेड बाय बार्स, ऐसे बार्स होती हैं, देयरफॉर these bars diagrams are also referred to as a bar graph। ये देखो, अब ये डेटा है, स्पोर्ट्स है, नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट है, बास्केटबॉल के 15 स्टूडेंट है, वॉलीबॉल के 25 है, फुटबॉल के 10 है, टोटल आगे 50। ये देखो गाइस, ये है बार डायग्राम। हिस्टोग्राम नहीं है, ये बार डायग्राम है। ये देखो, ये बार डायग्राम है। ओके, ठीक है, बार्स भी आ गया ना, बार डायग्राम है। ओके, एक्सप्लेन भी आ गया और आपको आ गया। ठीक है, पिक्टोरिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशंस भी आ गई और एक्सप्लेनेशंस भी होगी बार डायग्राम। ठीक है, दिस इज ए ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ डेटा। सेकंड आ गया हिस्टोग्राम। हिस्टोग्राम क्या चीज है? सिलेबस में है ना हिस्टोग्राम। ये देखो, ये हिस्टोग्राम भी है, ठीक है, सिलेबस के अंदर। हिस्टोग्राम क्या होता है? एक टू डायमेंशनल ग्राफिकल representation of a continuous frequency distribution is called a histogram. In histogram, the bars are placed continuously side by side with no gap between adjacent bar. साथ के साथ बार होती हैं। That is, in histogram, rectangles are erected on the class intervals of the distribution. The areas of a rectangle are proportional to the frequencies. ठीक है, ये सिंपल में भी दिया हुआ है, यहां से भी पढ़ लेना, जो भी आपको इजी लगता है इसमें से। ये देखो, ये हिस्टोग्राम है, कोई भी गैप नहीं होता, इसमें गैप है तो ये बार चार्ट है। ठीक है ना, ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशंस ऑफ ए डेटा हो गया। अब हम सीधा चलते हैं एनपीसी के ऊपर, द मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट। ओके, ये सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी आ गया। ओके, ये पढ़ लेना आप, सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी में वही मीन मीडियन मोड वाली बात आ जाएगी। मीन मीडियन मोड। ओके, मेजर ऑफ ए वेरिएबिलिटी, मेजर ऑफ ए डिस्पर्शन। वेरिएबिलिटी को डिस्पर्शन भी बोलते हैं। ठीक है, इट इंडिकेट्स द स्कैटरिंग ऑफ द डेटा। सिंपल है गाइस, यू जस्ट हैव टू लर्न इट, यू जस्ट वन टाइम यू हैव टू शो इट। ओके, अब आ गया एनपीसी, राइट। ये देखिए, ये सिलेबस के अंदर एनपीसी आ गया, नॉर्मल प्रोबेबिलिटी कर्व, क्योंकि ये इंपॉर्टेंट है। नॉर्मल प्रोबेबिलिटी कर्व क्या चीज है? प्रोबेबिलिटी इज नथिंग बट ए चेंज ऑफ अपीयरिंग। Normal probability curve is drawn to show the equal distribution of a scores in the either side of the mean with perfect bell-shaped curve without touching the baseline. ओके, आप एग्जाम्पल देखो, एग्जाम्पल से आपको इजी हो जाएगा। ओके, एग्जाम्पल पढ़ो, ये देखो। इन ए नॉर्मल क्लासरूम वी ऑलवेज ऑब्जर्व दैट मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट गेट एवरेज मार्क्स, very few get excellent marks, and very few get poor marks. Happens if you are a class of a 30 student, you conducted a test and you see that most of the student takes a average marks, very few takes a excellent marks, and very few takes a lowest marks, है ना? When such type of a situation arises, it is always, comes presented with the help of a normal probability curve. इसको normal probability curve बोलते हैं। ये देखो, ये probability curve है। ये ग्रीन वाला एरिया तो आ गया वो एवरेज स्टूडेंट्स, दे हैव गॉट ए एवरेज मार्क्स, और सम इंटेलिजेंट, है ना, सपोज you can consider that on the left side, some has got a very excellent marks, some has got a very poor marks. Okay, तो when such situation occurs, तो then normal probability curve बनता है। ठीक है, ये देखिए एग्जांपल में, many human characteristics like height, weight, strength, learning ability, cooperativeness, social dominance, etc. yield normal probability curve. Happens ना, हाइट कभी किसी की सेम नहीं हो सकती, है ना। एवरेज लोगों की सेम होगी, कुछ लोगों की ज्यादा होगी, कुछ लोगों की कम होगी, तो वो नॉर्मल प्रोबेबिलिटी कर्व बनेगी। गॉट इट? अब ये देखो, नॉर्मल प्रोबेबिलिटी कर्व इंपॉर्टेंट क्यों है? ठीक है, तो ये सारा इसका इंपॉर्टेंट लिखा हुआ है, एक बार पढ़ लेना, राइट गाइस। बेल शेप कर्व होती है ये सारा, राइट। और एप्लीकेशंस क्या है इसकी, राइट, और एप्लीकेशन यूजेस ऑफ ए एनपीसी इन एजुकेशन, राइट गाइस। सो दिस इज एंड ऑफ योर लेक्चर। ओके गाइस, सो ये अब आपका कवर अप हो गया, सारा का सारा ही आपका पेपर भी और आपका ये सिलेबस भी कवर अप हो गया है, राइट। तो जो थोड़े बहुत टॉपिक्स हैं जो, राइट, मतलब मेन टॉपिक्स आई हैव डिस्कस्ड विद यू, बट शॉर्ट टॉपिक्स आई हैव मेड ए नोट्स। ओके, तो इन फ्रॉम द नोट्स यू कैन लर्न इट गाइस। सो थैंक यू सो मच गाइस फॉर दिस लेक्चर, राइट, थैंक यू। Okay, guys, thanks for this lecture. So today we have also covered the paper 2 or paper 9 assessment for learning. Right, guys? I have already shared the notes, and soon, I upload this video and I share the link with you. Okay, first see the link, then go for your notes, and hope you will cover these topics also within next 3 or 4 days. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you.